Welcome back to our channel, the channel for the latest news and untold stories about Catherine, the Princess of Wales, and her royal family. Today we bring you news. Breaking! Lady Louise finally got the title of Princess as King Charles approved. The smallest granddaughter of Prince Philip and Queen Elizabeth II, who passed away in 2022, Lady Louise Mountbatten-Windsor is now preparing for her upcoming summer examinations at the University of St Andrews. The possibility of her becoming an official royal is on hold once she graduates, which is still a few years away. However, her title is still a topic of contention. She could one day become known as Princess rather than Lady, according to the letters patent of 1917, which have recently gained immense fame. The 1917 letters patent, they remained relatively unknown for more than 100 years. King George V issued them to clarify the succession of royal titles. Many people paid little attention to his judgments for decades, even though they were implemented at the height of World War I, while the loss of the royal thrones was happening at a frightening pace and had terrible personal consequences for individuals. At this point in time, they rank among the most discussed sets of royal regulations, and these things make you wonder whether Lady Louise has a connection with HRH. In case you had difficulty following on over the last several years, George V made a decision. Any offspring of the monarch automatically became Her Royal Highness, and is given the titles of Prince or Princess. The male line of a monarch's grandsons is subject to the same regulation. The regulations that prioritize males over women will remain in place, even in the year 2023. What this implies is that HRH may be inherited by sons of monarchs, but not by daughters. Louise steps in at that point. The Queen's son count was 3, Charles and Andrew. 2 of her oldest sons were born into the household of royalty. But Her late Majesty released a statement in 1999 upon her smallest son's marriage, explaining that the decision had been made that the kids were not to become HRHs following deliberation. During Prince Edward's wedding to Sophie Rhys-Jones, the news of the choice was revealed. Especially less than 2 years following Diana, Princess of Wales' death, and during one of Elizabeth II's greatest crises. They were married in June 1999 at St George's Chapel, Windsor. The public's sorrow at Diana's death had transformed into wrath as attention shifted to the choice to separate her from the HRH. The titles constituted a hotly debated topic in the atmosphere. The royal family declared that Edward's offspring would be entitled to the titles of Earl's children, notwithstanding the letters patent. And thus, Edward did not obtain a dukedom upon marriage. Lady Louise Mountbatten-Windsor arrived in the world to the Earl and Countess of Wessex in 2003, and she was formally christened after her mother. James, her 2007-born younger sibling, was granted the honorific of Viscount Severn. James was promoted to the title Earl of Wessex when Edward was appointed Duke of Edinburgh in March of 2023 by King Charles. Nonetheless, Louise's position remained unchanged. Lady is another title for a duke's daughter. Could they both become HRH, though? That is the remaining question. Their mum, Sophie, looks like to believe that way. Lady Louise's mother mentioned the HRH and Princess in a telephone conversation before her 18th birthday, saying that her daughter might have used them but couldn't because of Sophie and Edward's choice. On the other hand, she did mention that Louise may change her mind after she reached 18. Lady was the title that Louise maintained. Some, however, contend that Louise and James cannot have HRH since the monarch's wishes were made clear in the marriage announcement. Louise may, however, be approached with an invitation to assume royal duties at a later date. The Duke of Kent and Princess Alexandra are now approaching their late 80s, so they're no longer able to accept as many obligations, adding to the declining amount of royals who are actively involved in the workforce. As of August, Princess Anne became 72 years old, while the Duke and Duchess of Gloucester are also well into their 70s. The task of filling up the royal journal may be difficult in the next 10 years. The Prince of Wales, Lady Louise's cousin, claimed on her 20th birthday that his family wished to bring the genuine societal change by devoting a smaller amount of energy and time to fewer causes. It's now unclear if the royal family is going to embrace Prince William's perspective, or whether or not his choice would lead to additional engagements for the rest of the family. It's my sincere expectation that Lady Louise is, like any good 20-something, living it up in private and not worrying about anybody with no interest in knowing about her wild nightlife. Her lack of the HRH has served to shield her from curious onlookers. An everlasting conundrum: privacy versus princess. We thank you for taking the time to watch today's video. In her future roles, what are your thoughts? Please let us know your thoughts and we'll say goodbye for the time being.